Last year, I was very fortunate to be able to record a session and an interview with Phil Chant, the director of Bodyscan UK, a provider of DEXA scans in London. DEXA, for those who don't know, stands for Dual Energy X-ray Absorptiometry, which is a very medical sounding word. Basically means that they scan you twice with two different wavelengths or energies of X-ray, and they use computer modeling and algorithms to understand your body composition. In the interest of full disclosure, this is my third DEXA scan, which I got complimentary in exchange for being featured as a case study by Bodyscan in their newsletter. The first two I had done as a paying customer. I started by asking Phil about the difference between weight loss as a concept and body composition, and how tools like DEXA can help people who are looking to lose fat.
I am very passionate about...
Well, that's why
yes, I know. About people come in and they sit in that chair and they say, hi Philip, I need to lose weight. I go, no you don't. You do not need to lose weight. You need to lose fat. Nobody needs to lose weight unless you're a boxer or a jockey, or you compete in a weight class. We need to lose fat. Organizations that are supposed to help with weight loss are just obsessed with moving the dial on that scale down to a lower number. People can lose muscle to get that weight down. People come back and they've lost weight, but they've lost muscle. But because they've lost so much muscle, they're actually fatter than they were before in proportion. Their body fat percentage goes up. So I rail against weight loss, right? It's about body composition. It's about fat loss. We want fat to come down and we want muscle to go up or stay the same. How I came to DEXA to set up Bodyscan was that I discovered DEXA for myself as a consumer. And it was very much like you. It was my measurement tool to check that I was making progress. I mean, I was very, very sedentary. And I just got to an age and a time and I thought I need to make improvements. But how do I measure it? And many times in a number of DEXA scans that I would look in the mirror or just think, nothing's happening, and then the report would show otherwise, which gave me the motivation to keep keep going.
So here you can see some sped up footage of the scan process itself. It's fairly non-invasive and you don't have to do it in your underpants. If you choose not to, you can, of course, wear a medical gown, but a lot of guys do just find it easier to stay in their boxes. We're going to pick up after the scan's been finished at the start of the consultation and a look into interpreting the results of the scan.
Okay, so what we do now is we analyse the scan, and you can see here this is your current scan we've just done, and this is your previous one, and immediately you can see the difference in size, physical size. The system will try and place the markers that you can see which define the body in exactly the same position, and this really just defines or demarcates the regions of the body, the arms, head, legs and trunk. And now some people we can see the visceral cavity a lot better than others. On the outside we're trying to isolate the subcutaneous fat, that's the fat you can pinch. Then we have the walls of the visceral cavity, or divide the outside from the inside. And then we look inside this middle rectangle here, and we just want to measure what's in here, so internal fat. And then we extrapolate. And now we print your report, and I'm going to now do a rate of change. So we now pick out your previous two reports here. So this is your third report. First thing you see on the front page there is the colour DEXA image of your body, where fat is orange and yellowy orange, lean mass and muscle is red and bone is blue. So you can see the orange is this stuff here, but a lot less than we had on that very first scan. Okay. The numbers underneath here look at your body fat particularly. Body's broken down into regions, arms, legs and trunk, the head, and then we have two sub-regions which we're interested in, which are belly fat for android fat and gynoid fat. So kind of male area fat, female area fat. Your body fat percentage is 20.9%, which is pretty much average for a male Bodyscan client. So we analyse fat and lean separately in these two tables, and this gives us a true picture of your body composition and how things are going. Now the key numbers from Bodyscan's point of view, which you don't get with other methods, and they are your fat mass index and your lean mass index. Okay, that's how much fat you're carrying for your height and how much lean mass and muscle you're carrying for your height. Now your fat mass index is sitting at 5.35, and again, as you can see from our tables, you are now below the median fat mass index. And fat mass index is the more important number. People come in and they obsess with body fat percentage, but it's not the best measure because you can change body fat percentage without changing fat. Okay? Right. If you go and stick on muscle, your body fat percentage will fall, right? But you've still got exactly the same amount of fat. Whereas fat mass index you can only change with a change in fat. That's why it's a key marker. Now, before, just last time, in April, your fat mass index was just over 7, okay, down to 5. So you were way up, kind of in the 65th percentile. Now you're below the 50th. And your visceral fat, which we were looking there on the analysis, the estimate is that that's come down again. You're well inside normal. You're at 61, 62. Last time it was 82. I think the very first time was 128, 130. Yeah. Okay, once we get over 100, we're into what we call increased risk. Yeah. Visceral fat is the internal fat around the organs. Now, visceral fat is associated with things like diabetes, heart disease, colon cancer, stroke. And internal fat puts pressure on the internal organs, raises them up into the chest. So, regardless of just a body image, a DEXA body scan report gives you visceral fat. Also, bone density is in there. We haven't spoken about bone density, but the machine was invented to measure bone density. And you get a number on bone density, so bone health. And believe it or not, this is the interesting thing. The lowest bone densities I've had across all my clients have been young men. Really? And they are the group least at risk of low bone density and osteoporosis. But I've had 5, 6, 7 young men in their 20s and 30s with the bone density of 90-year-old women. Like visceral fat, it's something you'd never know. I mean, I have people come in and we've got low bone density or we've got high visceral fat. And they say, well, I'd never have known that. And we refer them to a bone specialist to take a better look. Now these numbers here are a couple of numbers based on lean mass and muscle. Yep. And so we have a lean mass index. We just saw a fat mass index there. Yep. Lean mass index is basically lean for your height or muscle for your height. And you're just below the median. Obviously we want fat low. It doesn't mean we want lean really high. Obviously bodybuilders have a lot of lean mass, a lot of muscle mass, and people tend to trend towards a natural amount of lean. So, it's hard to put on muscle, okay? From an evolutionary point of view, your body's trying to get rid of muscle because it's not calorie efficient. It takes calories to maintain that lean. So what I'm doing is I'm comparing you with these tables here, which is 850 male clients. It's now at about 1,200, and I need to reanalyze the data, but I'm pretty sure the numbers will be the same. We're trending. It now becomes statistically significant. By virtue of you being here, you are a typical body scan client, okay? And that doesn't matter whether you're so big you don't fit on the table, or you're thin as a rake, or you're an athlete, or you're a couch potato. You are a typical body scan client. It's a mix of everybody. There is no athletic bias. I'll certainly say that. Okay. I'd say most of my clients are average to overweight, in fact. On page 2 here, this is where we break down the body, arms, legs and trunk, into the components that DEXA measures, which is bone, fat and lean mass. What we can do with your lean, we can actually plot your lean mass, your muscle mass. So you can see you're carrying on average in the arms about 3.1 kilos of lean, which puts you around here, around 31 kilos in the trunk and around 11 kilos in the legs, which is around here. Now, immediately you can see that your arms are way behind your trunk and legs. Now, of course, you can target lean mass. You can put on muscle in certain places. You can't lose fat in specific places. You can't spot lose fat. So, when it comes to going to the gym and doing some weights to build up muscle, you definitely want to be concentrating on your arms. They are pretty low. I mean, we find a lot of guys, so typical guy goes to the gym, big arms, big chest and trunk, and skinny little legs. You're almost the other way around. You're kind of a cyclist distribution where you're low in the arms because that's all they do is hold the handlebars, but they want more in the legs. And here we see the actual changes. Okay, this is now doing an automatic comparison. We can see on the bottom here the 3 scans lined up. Visually, you can easily, that's a real transformation, a fantastic case study. Here visually, again, we see the top line is weight coming down. The yellow area is fat. You can see that's got smaller and smaller again. Now, you've lost a little bit of lean along the way. Overall, since you began, you've lost less than 3 kilos of muscle to 19 kilos of fat, which is a fantastic ratio. If you're thinking about DEXA scan, come and have one, because everybody who comes for a scan loves it. It's a very non-judgmental atmosphere, absolutely. So I said, most of our clients are average to overweight. I have people who are seriously overweight. I have people so big they don't fit on the table. Okay, but there's no judgment. I don't make any judgments in telling you or giving you the data. That's when I refer to the client base. So that really is a way of saying, okay, you're up in the 80th percentile, the 90th percentile when it comes to body fat. Okay, so yes, you're carrying more body fat than 90% of my clients. But I'm not judging you for that. That's the way it is. And there are clients in the 95th and the 99th percentile. A lot of people say, I'll only come to you when I'm in better shape. And I say, no, come now. However difficult it may be, and again, people say, look, I didn't like the result, but I'm glad of it, all right, because now I feel motivated. But come now, because now then we'll have a line in the sand, we'll have a marker, and it can only get better. And a lot of people say, I want to come in when I'm in better shape, but I have a lot of people who come back up 12 weeks and they're in worse shape. Okay, they've lost muscle, so they're actually fatter than they were before. So come now, there's no judgment, you can sit on the oats, it's an easy thing to do, it's not intrusive, and it's motivating, because the number of people who get the report, they sit there and they go, "Jeez, is that me? Is all that orange stuff fat?" And yes, it is, but that's motivating. I have people who make that into a screensaver, who blow it up into a full-size poster, who stick it on their fridge door. That's the thing you want to change, and people commit to having subsequent scans, and they say, right, next time I'm going to fit on the table, or next time I'm going to get that number down. So absolutely, it's empowering and motivating, I'd say.
I'd like to thank Phil again for taking the time to record the interview with me and allowing me to come in and record the scanning process. Hopefully this video has been insightful for those of you who are interested in DEXA. And for those of you who are interested in the subject of body composition and tracking, I've got another video on this channel talking a little bit about an overview of doing that, part of my bigger series about fat loss. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.